I'm Pat Black and I'm the Scottish Green candidate for Edinburgh West. All of that time where I've been working with people and meeting people across the country in communities, I've found that people's lifestyles are getting worse and that there's lots of tinkering about at the edges of the social care system, but actually it's completely broken and it needs to be fixed. And there's some things in Scotland that are really good and better than some of the things that are in the UK, but Westminster needs to catch up because what's happening in Westminster affects what happens in Scotland. So we need green representation in Westminster in order to help sort that out. Well, St John's Road is the second most polluted street in Scotland. I live just off of St John's Road in Ball Green, and since I've come here my breathing has got really bad. I've got problems with my lungs and I think it's directly affected to the pollution, and I can't be the only one. So we need to really change that. Incentivising people to leave their cars at home. You know, I have a car, but I try not to use it as much as I can, and I try to use it only when there's not a public transport alternative. But this is a really mixed area, so it also includes Muirhouse. There's 6,000 people in Edinburgh West who have used food banks in the last year. That's a lot of people for an area that is partly prosperous and partly not. People's housing is poor. People's houses, the newer houses better, but there's a lack of affordable housing for people in the area. There's quite a lot of plans to build, more expensive housing, and that's maybe not what's needed. So I think that we would be standing for decent affordable housing, something better than food banks for people. We live in a really rich country. It's ridiculous that people are having to use food banks. We have a food waste problem and not a food shortage, so we shouldn't be having to do this in 2015.